Tyler Lewis Tessier, age 32, of Damascus, has been charged with 3 counts or 3 charges, including the first-degree murder of Laura Wallen, age 31, a magnificent teacher from Wild Lake High School in Howard County. In addition to the murder charge, which carries a maximum sentence of life without the possibility of parole, the defendant is charged with altering evidence. If you read the charging document that was distributed to you in court, you will see there were various actions or activities taken by the defendant, Mr. Tessier, in the days after he murdered Miss Wallen, changing the evidence, moving her car, taking the tag off of her car, throwing keys or license away. He did tamper with the evidence. It's all contained within the charging document. He also did, and as Donna Fenton mentioned in court, he did give a series of statements to the police, essentially none of which were consistent with the others. I think Ms. Fenton characterized his statements as containing hundreds of lies that the police could prove based on their inconsistency with his other statements or other investigative efforts that were made by the police that showed that what he was telling them was not, in fact, the truth. The defendant today appeared before Zubari Williams, a judge of the District Court for Montgomery County. Judge Williams, at the request of the state, agreed with our request that he be held without bond, and the defendant is held without bond. He will remain incarcerated pending a preliminary hearing date, which is set for October the 13th of this year. I will tell you, for many of you who are experienced covering these cases, that preliminary hearing date will probably never come to pass, because the reality is we will take action, bring this matter to the grand jury of Montgomery County prior to that date, and the only thing that will happen on October the 13th will be the announcement, we hope, of an indictment of the defendant for what we believe are the appropriate charges at that time. As we know from in court today, the defendant in this matter was characterized in court and did characterize himself to some as the boyfriend of the deceased. As was mentioned also in court, there was somewhat of a triangle atmosphere surrounding this, because the defendant, in addition to having Ms. Wallen as a girlfriend, he was engaged to another woman. I think that he was, it was clear, I think, from what was said in court, he was not honest with either of the women regarding the true nature of the relationship with the other. The family was present in court. We have had constant communication. Members of my office, Ms. Herdman and Ms. Fenton, have been working around the clock on this matter. I will tell you, the autopsy in this matter is still pending. It's not done. We do not have the results of that as of yet. As you know, the body of Ms. Wallen was recovered in a field up in Damascus, Maryland. Again, I want to salute the Montgomery County Police Department, the Homicide Division. I think they did a marvelous job following this case, repeatedly interviewing the defendant, challenging him on his inconsistencies, and then using the forensics. They used cell phone records to show that he was repeatedly, night after night after night, going back to the same field. That is the field where Ms. Wallen's body was, in fact, recovered. There is some indication, I think, in the charging document of false texts that were created by the defendant, besides the direct lies that were told to the police to divert the attention away from him and direct it to another individual who, based on the police investigation, had no contact with Ms. Wallen for more than 2 years and lived in a distant city.